United States education is your gateway
to a great American campus experience,
to pursue your passions,
to navigate cultural differences,
to gain real-world experiences,
to learn skills for a changing job market,
to thrive in your career,
to give back to your community and to the world,
to be the kind of person that you wouldn't have dreamed to be otherwise.
Come study in the United States.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our today's webinar. We are very happy to welcome you here today. I really hope that this webinar is going to be as useful as always. Today, we're having here a new invitee, a new alumna of Education USA, Sabrina. And today we're going to discuss an interesting, and she's going to share with us her story. But I think I forgot to introduce myself first. So I'm Alina Yakubov. I am a regional advisor working here for you for Education USA virtual program, providing you here useful and interesting information about the application process for studies in the US and sharing with you tips and tricks which can be super practice for you for your studies and for your studies in the US. Okay, so today we have here, as I mentioned before, Sabrina. So she's gonna share with us her story, her success story, let's say, and how she managed to do such wide research and how she managed to choose her university. So Sabrina, I'm gonna ask you to introduce yourself, to tell us more about where are you studying currently and what are you doing and how's your day?
Hi everyone, my name is Sabrina. It's a great pleasure for me to be here right now. So as Alina have mentioned, or you saw on the posters, I'm currently a sophomore at the Akron University, which is in Ohio State. I'm majoring in computer science. It's my second year, and right now I'm on my summer break, and my day is going pretty good.
Okay, perfect. So as I already mentioned, today we're going to focus on the process of researching the list of the universities Sabrina narrowed for herself. So we're going to go from scratch kind of, and she will explain us, by every step she considered when she was in the process of researching her list of universities. So we are going to have like a Q&A session, and you guys feel free to ask and to add here your questions. We are going to try to answer them at the end of this webinar. Now we are going to have a list of the questions which are kind of most frequent asked. So we're going to focus on them, and afterwards we're going to allow time to respond yours. Okay, so Sabrina, one of the first question, which I think is a basic one, but what criteria did you use to narrow down your list of potential universities? What you did first, and why you specifically chose a university in the USA?
Okay, so I think that anyone can relate to me. The most important thing is your major. You have to find a college that would help you to showcase your potential, that would help you to achieve your academic goals. First of all, you need to know what you want from your college. If you're majoring, for example, in computer science, you want to make sure that your college is very good in computer science. They have a lot of opportunities they are providing for international students as well in those specific programs. Secondly, I think is another most important criteria is financial aid. Since we're international students, and you know that tuition fees in the US are drastically much higher than in our countries, and you want to make sure that you can pay for your education. And the third one, I think, is maybe opportunities that your college may give you, for example, study abroad programs, or maybe OPT, CPTs in specific companies if they're sponsoring students to achieve their goals. So I think those are the main three criteria. I don't think that I pay too much attention on the location or maybe other criteria, because I think in my personal experience, I'm trying to adjust to any environment. So I think those were three my main criteria to narrow down my list.
Okay, that makes sense. And you are also a Flex alumna. Did that
Yes.
matter when you chose the university or not? Because some students they really want to choose an university in the region they've been doing their Flex.
Yes, so actually I wanted to apply for colleges in Iowa. So I was hosted by a family in Iowa. Unfortunately, exactly at that location, I couldn't find the universities that would give a good scholarship for international students. So they didn't have any need or merit based for incoming students. That's why I was just mainly focusing on other colleges that are not super far, but I wouldn't mind somewhere else as well.
Okay, that totally makes sense. Okay, and in the process of gathering all the information, how did you manage to look for every university's, I don't know, information or contact information? Did you look on their website, did you join their virtual tours, or maybe you had some brochures that you've used for the research?
So I think that I've used everything that you mentioned. So your main resource is the website of the college. Please pay thorough attention to their website because this is the main resource for any information about their event calendars, virtual events that they are handling for new applicants. They are handling virtual tours. You can use those, and every information is absolutely for free. So this is awesome. I think that from my personal experience, because I've been applying to colleges for 3 years, because I did flex program, then I stayed in another college in a different city here in my hometown. Then I reapplied to colleges, and you see, I managed to find a strategy that helped me. So I think that the best thing you could do is to dedicate 1 to 3 days on researching specific college information. For example, if you have 10 colleges, you dedicate from 1 to 3 days for each college to research all the information about their financial aid, about their deadlines, about the opportunities they give. So it is a very important thing. Another thing is using Education USA opportunities they provide. So I was proactive on social media. It's very important to use your social media wisely because as I know, Education USA at that time they used to have scholarship alerts. They used to have webinars with specific universities, and this is how I learned about some other universities that I've never heard of before. So it's very important, and using that they're providing. So I think it is very important to be very active on internet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that totally makes sense. And I think I already asked that, but I wanted just to make sure. Were there some factors that were most important to you in choosing a university? So you said that location wasn't that important, but what about the academic programs? What about the campus culture? About the clubs that they had on their campus? Was that important for you?
Yes. So this is like a pro tip that I use. The college that is in your list may not be in top 10, but you don't have to shift your focus from your priorities to other things that are not relevant or not important to you. For example, your college is not in top 10, as I said, but it has a great program in computer science or engineering or nursing. So it's very objective on how you're looking for. That's why I think it was the most important thing for me. And also, I'm a very active person. So as you mentioned, it was very important for me to find a college that would become my second home with all the activities, all the clubs. Right now, I'm a social media manager in my international club at my college. So it is a very fun experience because you get a chance to meet people from all over the world who are experiencing the same thing. So you can share your worries, you share so many things in common. And I think if you have some other interests or hobbies, for example, you're playing an instrument and your college gives you an opportunity to play in a band, or you're a cheerleader or anything else. So I think it has to be one of the essential criteria as well.
Okay. And what about the rankings? I think you already mentioned that, but were rankings or guides during your research process important?
I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit skeptical about rankings because they are not sharing. They are not showing you the university from all the sides. As I said, it's a general information. Because as I said, my college is not the best in social sciences, but it was recognized as a top university, and with its program in College of Engineering and Polymer Science in 2022, and this is what I'm specified in. So you have to be very thorough in your college search process. So,
Okay.
but there are a lot of resources that you can use. U.S. News, all the rankings. You can use, I know, College Board for those tops
Ranking.
and rankings.
Yes, that's totally true, guys. And what about the reputation and accreditation of the university? Was that also a thing that you've checked?
Accreditation is very important because I know that right now there are a lot of colleges that are advertising themselves as colleges where you can get your degree in 1 year, but they're not accredited in any way.
Right.
So you have to be very cautious about that because it can be an online school, but you will not get accredited, and your diploma will not be. You cannot use your diploma anywhere. So yes, this is an important thing, but again, ranking was not as important for me as it may be for someone else.
Okay, that's totally fine. And yes, about the accreditation, I also want to mention those who are in the process of researching their options, that the accreditation is also one of the most important factors you should consider during your research and when you are setting up your list. And Education USA Virtual is going to do a separate webinar related to accreditation, because it seems that this is a really huge problem now. And we'll try to give you a better perception on what accreditation means and what you should and on what you should pay attention. Okay, and did you reach out to current students or alumni for their perspectives? Did you know someone exactly who studied at Akron, or it was just you didn't have any networking?
Yes, so it's another tip for everyone who are applying to colleges or are thinking about applying to colleges, is to be very active, as I said, on social media. Do not be shy, please, because socializing is one of the best skills that you can gain, because it is your responsibility to reach out to people if you want to gain some knowledge, some information. So what I did, I was using my LinkedIn profile. It is very important to be professional, to stay professional, not mixing entertainment with education or professional goals. So I was using my Instagram and LinkedIn. So what I did, I typed in University of Akron alumni, or maybe I was checking the tags. And actually, I connected with my Education USA advisor, Anissa, and she shared with me that there's a boy who studies at the University of Akron and who could help me, and he's majoring in the same exact program as me. So there are only two people from Tajikistan, is both of us, and it was an amazing thing to know that there's someone who could help me, and actually that helped me a lot to prepare for my college experience, to pick the classes, to find new people. He introduced me to International Club, and then I met a lot of friends there. I use my Instagram. It is a good thing to try to connect with people. Don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed. Worst case scenario, they can just leave you on red. So that's it. But try to find people so it will help you know more insights, because no one will share you as much information and their experience as students who graduated or are currently studying at that university, because they will give you insights that are not posted on websites, on Instagram, or anywhere else. So it's solely a viewpoint from someone's experience who went through the same problems, who were majoring in the same program, who can help you, maybe who will guide you. So
yeah, that totally makes sense. And guys, LinkedIn is a great source to research alumni and to research the university, and not only the alumni but also the representatives, the admission committee, the coordinators, the outreach coordinators they have for their university that are in charge of the international students. So I definitely encourage you to use this platform. Okay, and as part of the research process, we should talk about the role the financial consideration play in the decision-making process. How did you research scholarship, grants, and other financial aid options that Akron gave to you? On what you specifically paid attention, and what did you got in the end? What type of scholarship or financial aid was that?
okay, so as I said, financial aid was very important for me because tuition fees in Tajikistan and American universities are completely different. So that was very important for me because I knew that my family would not be able to afford the education in the US to pay full tuition. So it was very important for me, for the college, to already offer need-based or merit-based scholarships. So I didn't really want to apply for some private scholarships because I knew that would be too much hustle and it would take my focus from application process and financial aid application to focus on essays and resume making for those private scholarships. So it was very important for me to find a college that already offers scholarships for international students. And I also think that if your college is already offering good financial aid for international students, it also shows how they treat international students. So I think that equal opportunities have to be for everyone. So you know what I mean by that. And University of Akron gave me presidential scholarship and merit-based scholarship. So based on my achievements, based on my academic performance in my high school, and all the things that I did out of school. And besides that, I also found a sponsorship. So I think, if you're someone who are willing to find private scholarships, it's a great opportunity as well. There's so many websites. I think that the main one of the best skills that you can gain is how to properly Google information, because you can find so much information online and you can find so many people who are willing to sponsor new applicants.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you've mentioned the presidential scholarship. What the scholarship exactly covered?
So it's not, so how it works is that you gain some amount of money from the university, and they are covering not just, for example, the dorm or dining, they're covering some part, and the rest is on you or your sponsor or other scholarships. Overall, I got $10,000 from my college, so it cut the half of my expenses. And for the first semester, my sponsors helped me to cover my education and all the other expenses, like the tuition, classes fees, for my room and board. And after the first semester, I got a job on campus, and because of that, my college is paying for my room and board, so I'm not spending money on my food or my housing. And this is another thing that I highly recommend you to look at. On-campus employment for students, for international students as well, because if some colleges, a lot of colleges, I can say, are giving opportunities for their students to work for them, and they will be paying for some of your expenses, and it will drastically cut off some expenses, and it's a great opportunity for students.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, good. And about the academic programs, were there any specific academic programs or departments that were particularly important to you? Because I think we spoke about that, and when you were evaluating all the universities, like, were you evaluating a program in particularly?
Mhm. Yes, as I said, computer science major. I identified for myself that I would major in computer science, I think in eighth grade. So I knew exactly what I was doing. And believe it or not, it will help you a lot in making a list of colleges for you. So I know that sometimes it may be hard to find your major before college. I know that colleges in the US give you an opportunity um, to study there as an undecided student for the first year, so you
Right.
could test the water. But I think that it's better to know what you want to do. If you change your mind, it's okay. Colleges in the US give you an opportunity to change your major, so you will not lose anything from this. You will not lose a year or an experience. It's totally fine. So computer science department played a huge role because I knew what exactly I wanted to do, software development or maybe programming, coding. I tried to find information about the professors, the representatives from those departments, trying to find the students and their achievements, what University of Akron contributed to this field in general, what you can do as a student from the University of Akron. So yeah, I think it was a priority for me to find a college that was really good and also very diverse in that field for me.
Okay, that totally makes sense. I think I'm done with the list of questions that I had. So I've tried to address you the questions which are kind of, very popular because students are super interested about the financial aid and about the research process. And guys, if you're going to still have questions, you can still address them. But we're going to start now allowing time to answer all the questions that we have now in the chat. From our students. So one of the first question was how to start preparing for university, but I want to go to Columbia University. I can definitely encourage you to rewatch all the videos that we have on our YouTube page. Those are going to be super useful for you when you are gonna follow every step. You should know that there are 5 steps that you should follow in your preparation process and in the together with all the application processes and the visa process. So you should go over each of it, and I think definitely it's gonna be much easier for you to understand how to prepare for that. But I think Sabrina already gave good tips on how to make your list and allowing time to research every university in particular. So first of all, it's very important to start with the major, as Sabrina said, even though it's not important and even though you can have the major and the minor, but it's very good and it's much easier to go for a specific major and to know for what you are applying, especially if you have experience, if you have a portfolio, for example. So let's say if that's computer science and you have already experience working on a website or I don't know, on a game or something like that, it's very interesting and useful for you to write that in your extracurricular activities, for example, and that will give the admission commission a better understanding that you can get a specific scholarship, let's say, or I don't know, or a merit-based aid. So yes, you should pay attention to a lot of stuff when you are starting to prepare for your university. But in the same time, considering the region where you are currently, you can also address to your Education USA representative, so they can also help you with the preparation process. and they can guide you during the process. And regarding the fact that that's Columbia University, definitely go on their website, look for what they propose, make up the list of all the factors and all the criteria that you have, if that's going to be major, or if that's going to be region or financial aid, and analyzing all this information. Just be really critical to yourself, analyze very good the number of international students they've accepted last year, for example, because that's also very important. Maybe they already have selected students from your region, and next year they will not really want to take students from that region specifically. Otherwise, you can also reach to professors or to their admission commission. That gives the university also a good perception that the student is very motivated, is very interested. So also that's one of my advices. Okay, next question is from Anna. What do you specifically have to check about the accreditation of a university or college? Is that thing that we already mentioned. You can say about your experience, Sabrina, and I will say about what exactly that means in like academic terms.
Yeah, so accreditation means the quality. I mean, like, I think in general, in very easy terms, is the quality of the education, and you want to make sure that after you graduate your university, you'll be able to use your diploma to be able to get a job, specifically in that major. Because as I mentioned previously, there's so many new institutions and colleges that give you an opportunity to finish your education early in order to get an employment as early as possible. But after you graduate, you realize that those colleges are not accredited, and it's very important to check that the first thing you do. And I can share with you where you can check if your college is accredited. It's Council for Higher Education Accreditation. You can just type in your college name and see. If it's pretty easy, it will take up to 1 to 2 minutes to check the whole information, and also the website. They will not hide anything. They will tell you if they're giving an accreditation. So I think, yes, this is what I did with all the universities.
Yeah. Yes, so you were very, very specific and very practical in your answers. So definitely use that website for checking out. Unfortunately, they don't have a Ministry of Education like we used to have in our region, but normally the accreditation status is also decided by the U.S. Department of Education and the Council for Higher Education Accreditation. So yeah, you can check on their website. Okay, now we go to the next question, and I was more than sure that we were going to have it. So how we find that sponsor? Okay, I'm just gonna say that there can be private sponsor. They can be those can be public sponsors, and you can find all these types of sponsorship. The university itself, they can also propose to you that. You can go on the Education USA website, on educationusa.com website. We also have there different types of financial aid and sponsorships also. So that's a thing that you should research. That's a thing you should also ask the university. So in case if you are really, if you are in a really need of financial aid, and that financial aid of that scholarship is not sufficient for you, you can also ask the university if there is a way of getting any type of sponsorship. So that's another way of getting the financial aid. But Sabrina can add about her example.
Yes, and also I want to mention, so there's also such thing as promise to pay plan. This is what I have in my college. So your tuition fee is divided into 4 payments, and during the semester, so you're paying 25% every month and a half. So it's not that much, one payment is way difficult for our countries, maybe like $15K. So be very cautious about that, and if your university gives an opportunity, you can always use that too. And those private sponsors, you can find them anywhere. All the educational organizations, it can be public and private as well. So maybe your family members who are working in some organizations, and it doesn't always have to be educational organization. That could be any companies, so they're willing to sponsor new applicants. And I can also say that if you find someone who can promote, for example, the fundraisers that you start, that can be very beneficial for you as well. So you're starting a fundraiser, and some big companies can advertise you, so more people know about that. Use your social media, post information about yourself. Say, hey, my name is blah blah blah. I'm a very strong applicant, and my dream university is that university, and I'm very willing, list all the things that you have done, showcase your potential, present yourself, promote yourself, and I guarantee you someone will find that. So
Yes, usually there are some cases when they are just requesting an essay, or they are requesting your portfolio or your CV or your motivation letter. So that's also a way they can decide if they give you that type of of financial aid, let's say. Okay, good. So next question is, did Sabrina manage to get a graduate assistantship position by mentioning she got a job on campus, or is it a part-time job on campus? So first of all, Sabrina is doing her undergraduate degree, and yes, she is doing a part-time job on campus. That meaning that she's not working more than 20 hours per week. Per week, yes. Yep. So it's not about a master's degree. Normally, it's not about a PhD. So yes. Good. Then Hafiz asked again, can you mention your university name? I think that's also on our social media platform, but you can say it once again.
Yeah, the University of Akron, Akron, Ohio.
Akron, Ohio. Good. And then we have one more. How can someone get scholarship or GA with low grade? Okay, that's a good question, actually. Okay, guys, so you all know about the holistic approach that the university have. We cannot say that even though you will have a low grade, that doesn't guarantee you the fact that they will give you a scholarship or financial aid. So I think that this is a question that needs to be discussed definitely with the office, with the admission commission. You can use your chance. Maybe you are very strong in your, I don't know, maybe you are a very good athlete, or maybe you are very skilled in a specific domain, let's say, I don't know, either is that computer science, or you have some really huge accomplishments for an Olympiad, from a regional Olympiad or your local Olympiad, and you can highlight that. So it's not a bad case if you're having a low grade. You'll definitely have to motivate why you allowed some time, so more time to study, you know, a specific subject from your school list, and not allowing time to the others. Everyone has a good motivation normally, so they can understand that. But you should be also very critical about yourself. You should be really critical when making up that list. So on College Board, actually, on the Common App, you also have the opportunity to see what was the number, the percentage of international students that have been accepted with a specific grade, and what was the medium GPA that they required, and what were the minimum requirements. So that will make you understand if you really have chances for that university, and if you really have chances to get a scholarship. And again, you already know that some private universities, they tend to offer more financial aid than some state and some public universities. So maybe in your case, it's an option to go to a community college. That's also an option. So you should review all that. If you want to add here something, Sabrina.
Yes, so I really like how you mentioned to be very critical of yourself, because you have to know your abilities. Be aware of your achievements and your abilities, because don't just apply to Ivy League schools. This is the common mistake that most of the students do. And I think that I almost fell in that trap when I was just making a list of colleges. I added a bunch of colleges: MIT, Harvard, Caltech, all the colleges, from the top tier. But I stopped for a second, and this is the tip that I was told by my advisor when I was a CPC student. So you have to make a list with colleges that fall into 3 categories. So those are safe colleges, target colleges, and rich colleges. Safe colleges will be the colleges that you will easily get into. their acceptance rate vary between 50 and 78 or 80%. So you'll definitely get in there. It's for a case, it's like a fallback plan, if you know what I mean. Target colleges are your dream colleges. You will do anything for them. You will reach out to their admission office. You will adjust your grades, adjust your scores, standardized test scores under their requirements. And rich colleges are those: MIT, Caltech. In case you have an opportunity to apply for those colleges, knowing your abilities, it's very important to be self-aware of what you're doing right now. It's better to apply to 10 to 15 universities that fall under all of your requirements, all of your grades and your GPA, and are best fit, rather than shifting your focus from those target colleges to safe or rich colleges.
I totally agree. And that's a good scheme, using that list, and for every for the rich college, for the target college, and for the fallback schools, having 5 of them. But it's also a lot of work. So as Sabrina mentioned, you would have to allow like 1 to 3 days of research to every university. And there are like 4,000, 5,000 of them. So it's a lot of time. Okay, good. So I see that we don't really have any more questions here, but we still got some of them. Before starting our webinar, our students had the option to send their question in advance. So I have a few of them from there. So we will answer them because we promised our students. So we keep our promise. Okay, so I think we already discussed from what to start a well-balanced college list. We already discussed it, and Sabrina explained really good what is the scheme you should use and what is the best method to use when setting up your college list. The other one was like when they choose students for university, the university fees is free. I think you mentioned here, I think what the student wanted to ask here is the application fee. If that's the application fee, you should know that you can get the application fee waiver. And the majority of universities are giving that and are providing this application fee waiver. Some of them, they would just ask you to attend, I don't know, a virtual tour, or just to visit a webinar or something like that. Some of them would just post it on their website, so you can ask them. You can write to their admission office, and they can also provide that to you. So that's totally for free. Then how could you give us some more information about Common App and Columbia University? I think we already talked about Columbia University, but maybe if Sabrina wants to say if she used Common App, and how was that experience in your case?
Yes, I think Common App is the main platform that I used, because not only they allow you to apply for colleges, but they also post information about their deadline. They post the link to their website. They have some filters. It's not the best place to look for colleges, but it's the main platform to apply for to colleges through. So yeah, so common application takes a lot of time. So you need to polish your application. So you put all the information about yourself. It's roughly speaking, it's your CV, where you post everything that you have done or doing currently, your achievements, your interests, your hobbies, your work experience, everything. So when the college receives your application, they are receiving your common application. So it is very important to dedicate more than 2 weeks, I think, to your common application, because you'll always be adjusting your application. So yeah, it's highly important to dedicate as much time as possible to common application.
Yes. So that's one of the most frequent used platform when you send the application. You can also do that on the university's platform, because some universities, they don't use Common App. So you should do the application on their website. Okay, good. Then the next question is how to apply to US universities and get scholarship. Again, I can redirect you to our old videos on our YouTube page. There we explain more information about what type of scholarship there, what type of financial aid there is, and how to apply specifically, and how to follow every step. Okay, then how to choose a major. I think that this is a good question, especially for those who are really struggling with their application. Sabrina, tell me please, in your case, when did you decide to apply specifically for computer science? In what grade were you when you decided that?
I was in 8th grade because I graduated from STEM-oriented school. We don't have divisions. Yes, and starting from 7th, 8th grade, I've already started thinking about my future goals, about my career goals. So it was really interesting for me. Nevertheless, after my first year in college, I decided that I want to minor in graphic design. So you see, it always changes. You never know what can happen. What I can help you is I can advise you to take a test. There are such things as identity tests that can help you to choose your path and what you might be good or bad in. So those fields they have so many tests that can help you identify your strength, your interests, the potential that you may have. So I remember that I was thinking about maybe either going into computer science or mathematics. So I took the test and it it reassured me that this is what I want to do in future. So you're more than welcome to use those that can help you as well.
That's a great tip. I actually didn't know about that, but that's a great tip. I mean, that's why our students are here for actually, and they are sharing with us those nice tips. One of the last questions was applying for more than 5 university can be costly. Did you ask for application fee waivers? I'm more than sure that she asked, and we already explained how you can do that.
Yep.
Okay, guys. So I think we're done with the questions for today. I'm very thankful to all that have watched us during our today's webinar. I really hope that all the answers and all the information that we provided here was useful to you, and the experience that Sabrina has was also, will motivate you more and gave you some more tips that you would use in your research process. But I remind you that we have still more webinars which are related to career orientation. So we're going to talk with universities during this month about with the art schools, with medical schools, with STEM schools. So all this information, I hope, will give you even more better understanding about the processes that universities normally consider when reviewing the application. And stay tuned for all our next webinars. Follow us, address us the questions in advance so we can use the time to answer the question at the end of our videos. And I am very grateful also to Sabrina. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was a pleasure to talk with you, and I wish you a lot of luck. I'm more than sure that you will succeed, and I'm really excited to do another webinar about your PhD maybe. So yes, good luck to you.
Thank you. It was a great pleasure and honor for me to be here and share my experience with you. Maybe I helped you. Maybe I will help you in the future if we meet again. It was a great experience talking to you guys.
Thank you, guys, once again. You have a great day and a great end of this weekend and a nice weekend, because it's already Wednesday, so the weekend starts. Thank you once again. You have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.